Welcome back. We've got a terrific image this morning. This is a race from FW Niven and Company employees' first annual picnic and sport held at Mordialloc here in Melbourne, Australia on the 17th of December 1910. It's a silver gelatin print. It's one of a series, and I just love the wide format of it. I really like the subject matter. I think it's terrific, and it's just amazing that people had to run in those kind of outfits. As you can see, there's a fair bit of damage on the left and a ton of dirt and spots. So what I'll do is I'll just take a hue and saturation adjustment and bring it back down to a black and white image. And now, using the remove tool, sped up to 600%, I will start to clean all the black and white dots and spots away as the losses, as you can see, those larger white circles where water or some other substances come into contact with the image and created a loss. Working my way across the ground, you can see I'm approaching the area where there's a fair bit of loss, and it's a little scary. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with that yet, but I'll hit the smaller little islands first. You can see they disappear quite well. But what I'll do, what I normally do is ignore it and go and work on something else for a while. Now, no amount of remove tool is going to help with things like that little bit of loss on the top of that gentleman's hat. So using a clone brush, I'll just clone some value from the foreground guy's hat onto the background guy's hat, and same as the collar. The collar's clone brush from the guy in the distance. Never ceases to amaze me how much more compelling the image becomes once all this dirt and damage is removed. These people who just seem like from a completely different era just jump forward and become a lot more relevant, a lot more like real people as soon as they're restored from under all that damage and all that patina. So without delaying any longer, I'm just going to go for it on this damage on the left hand side here. I've removed a lot of it, but decided to try and just paint the whole thing like that with the remove tool and get something slightly more abstract, which I think suits. I'm going to try and darken it down, make it a little less visible. So I cloned a little bit of some other areas on top of it. I'll be darkening that side of the frame down later, so it will recede. A little like Baumgartner, I love to leave the faces to last. I think there's something really great about the reveal. Alright, so that was a lot of painting, a lot of despotting, that took hours. So now I'll do a levels adjustment to try and find a nice black point and white point. You can see I'm looking at that histogram to make sure I don't lose any data. I'm only really cropping where there's no data. And gammering the middle, finding a nice balance. Now you can see it's washed out on the left hand side, and there's also a gutter of dark tone running vertically between the gentleman on the left and the women running. So I'll have to attend to both of those things. So I'll put a levels adjustment on, an adjustment layer, and then pretty much do what I normally do, which is crush it quite dark. And then in the mask section, use a grad, and then building a grad, try and find the point where the image starts to look balanced in terms of the tone of that lighter side of the left there. You can see how it sits in quite nicely with the right hand side's levels of luminance. So that balances quite nicely. Now this center line, I'm going to use exactly the same technique. Build a levels adjustment layer, crank it around a little bit. This time it'll need to be brighter, and then invert the mask to turn it off, and then just paint into the mask to reveal that adjustment layer just where I want it. I thought about using a grad, but painting it's easier. One more little levels adjustment. This time trying to just darken down the bottom corner of the frame. There. And I'm quite happy with that. I think all of those adjustments have really helped. So after a couple of last minute touch-ups, I'm pretty happy. So thanks to the State Library of Victoria, of course, for providing these images as copyright free for the community to enjoy, and hopefully I've helped bring this one back from the brink just a little bit. As usual, thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you can. Thanks.